Posjetitelji, pred nama je posljednji susret u okviru razigravanja za plasman od 5. do 7. mjesta u Europskom Confederation Cupu između Karlovačke Olimpije i švicarske ekipe Karlovac Flyers. U prve dvije utakmice ovo razigravanje se igra u okviru u obliku mini lige. Olimpija Karlovac je, kao što se sjećate, svladala Vienna Wandererse sa 5-2, a Vienna Wanderers su jučer sa 13-1 bili bolji od Karlovac Flyersa. Dakle, pobjeda u ovoj utakmici značila bi sigurno 5. mjesto za Olimpiju i vjerovatno plasman u kup prvaka za sljedeću sezonu.
Hello everybody, welcome to Karlovac, Croatia, as first pitch is being thrown by Olimpija pitcher Carlos Garcia, a battle for the 5th place on this European Cup between hometown Olimpija and Terville Flares from Switzerland. It's a so-called mini league, the bottom 5 to 8 teams are playing, but since here we had 7 teams, Olimpija was free yesterday, while Flyers lost big time to the Vienna Wanderers 13-1, and Olimpija carried over that win from the group against Vienna Wanderers 5-2. So if there's a three-way tie, the runs will be deciding the place who is in a better place. But Olimpija has a chance to secure the 5th place with this win. 5th place that many are saying here will be much valuable for the next year reorganization of the Champions Cup. So this 5th spot might lead to the Cup of Champions next year for the winner, of course, of the Croatian champion this year, 2023. So Olimpija is actually playing not just for themselves, but for their country to secure the spot for Croatia in the biggest baseball event, team event in Europe. Carlos Garcia, who started the first game for Vienna Wanderers, is on a mound. Let's see if he's gonna be able, after 144 pitches, how his arm is gonna feel. It's not the hottest day here. It's rainy and humid, so that has tendency to affect the arms of a pitcher, especially after just a few days rest and after a really long but successful outing that Carlos Garcia had. So first batter walked. He throws the pickoff to Pero Rumora. We mentioned many times Pero Rumora, his family from Island Park. He currently lives in New York, works and lives in New York. He comes over for a summer to play baseball and plays baseball for Croatian national team as well. Great family, great, proud Croats they are. And it's just amazing to have people like that around on a team level and a national team level. And Croatians being all over the world. It's in any corner of the world where you go, you're able to find the Croatians, and it's something that we Croatians are proud of, and we do have tendency to stick together when we go outside of country. Actually, we stick more with each other outside of country than inside of country, but but that's another story and soccer-related story, which is kind of popular right now in Croatia. But we're not gonna go into that, and gonna just stick to the baseball game. For Olympia, it's a standard infield with Phil Goodsmith behind the mound, behind the plate. And we have Pero Rumara at first and young Bartol Bosanac at second base. Yorman Alcalá, another Venezuelan, beside Carlos on shortstop. And homegrown player Benjamin Paulic at third base. In outfield, we have Sven Anic now in the right field as Carlos Garcia delivers the first strikeout and first out for the Flyers. I think Kevin Volaric is in a center field. I still do not have his stats, and that's Ivan Mitrovic, right? Yes, Ivan Mitrovic Panda in the left field. So I don't know who is de-aging. I'll have stats up in a second. Maybe you have a better view if you were able to see the lineups before, but from my perspective, let me check the stats and see who is the aging. I don't see Bobo Gales, but I know he's been really beat up and hurt the last game. So those European tournaments have tendency to be hard on the players because you play 4 or 5 games in a really short period of time, something that in European baseball no team is used to. Usually the games are Saturday, Sunday. In most of the European leagues, some do have Friday, Saturday, Sunday games, like a Dutch and Italian league, but some of them don't even have a weekend play, just have a doubleheader on Saturday and doubleheader on Sunday. So players really not used to this long major league style where we play 4 and 5 games in a row without a break. So it is hard on amateur players for their bodies to heal. You don't get the physios and ice baths and all the nice perks and necessity that the pro players, and not just a pro, even the college players, when you look in the States and even some high school teams, get that. Here it's a little bit different. You know, you have to take care of the body. As the ground ball to Alcala, and he took an eye off the ball before throwing, which is a common mistake when you want to kind of speed up. It was a high chopped ball. He knew right away there is no way he's gonna get double play, so it would maybe get an 1 out. So he was hurrying a little bit and took an eye off a ball, and sometimes that happens and makes an error. So runner in scoring position for Swiss team, and let's see if they can capitalize right here in the first inning and take a score, take a run, and take a lead. As we talked to Olympia manager, Garrett Perkins is supposed to be in the bullpen, so we're looking into Garcia and Garrett splitting this game up. That's a nice off-speed pitch for Garcia for a swing and a miss. Trying to find in the stats and to see how many games those teams played. I know they faced off last year in the cup. Usually the Olympia has a good track record against the Swiss teams in these European Cups, mostly winning the games. So, and Croatian baseball generally is a little bit ahead and stronger than a Swiss national team, but national team and club competitions sometimes do not reflect the truth. There is a try of a tag, kind of a smart play, good backing up by Rumora, good footwork, finding the ball and catching the ball. The runner from second was thinking of tagging, which is a good thing. If it was a little bit longer of the ball, or Rumora had to dive for that ball to catch it, that would be maybe a potential to move up the runner, but it goes as a pop-up and foul fly for the batter. And 2 outs, and let's see if Olimpija can hold on the Swiss team without a run in this top of the first inning. And we do have a bad weather coming up, they're saying, so we should have 3 games here. It's the last day of a tournament. This is a battle for the 5th place. After this game, the 3rd place game should be scheduled, and then at 5 o'clock. Right now, as it stands, the final game is scheduled. Final game that should be very exciting game, as Tenerife is really kind of were cruising through this tournament and winning the games, and pretty much winning, mercy ruling everybody, and mercy ruled the Belgium team in the semifinals, and while other final between French team, and as fly ball, and it's in a trouble spot, and it drops, and it's gonna be a first run for a Swiss team. It's a single, RBI single, drop between the outfield and infield. Just a ball hit off the handle, it looked like. Was really started slow, but it just enough muscles on a Swiss player to put the ball over the infield, between the infield and outfield, and Swiss team takes a lead. And let's see if they're gonna continue to do so. The next batter stepping up, a left-handed batter. A little shift in the defense of Olimpija. And Carlos Garcia just, of course, not his 100%. So you can see he's kind of just trying to find strike zone. It's a good fastball for a strike. And we're saying we do have a French team that upset the team from Valencia in a really amazing game last night. It was a great semi-final game, and French team really showing a big heart and exploding from the first inning. And you can see by the poise on the field that they wanted that finals badly. And maybe on a paper they were not better team than Valencia, but on the field, oh boy, did they show that. Playing hard, hustling out every pitch, hustling out every ball hit, and it really showed as they advanced to the finals. And if they continue to play like that with the heart and with the passion, it's gonna be amazing finals. Although just a heavy loaded team, as Carlos Garcia strikes out, second strikeout of Carlos Garcia of the inning, but Swiss team is able to put up a run. So on top of the first inning, 1-0. Kevin Voleric leading off for Olimpija, showing the bunt, taking the bunt back. So Kevin, a homegrown player of Olimpija Karlovac program, a young, exciting player with speed and pretty good bat control. Outfielder who can track the ball, but lately was not really himself the way he's swinging for the balls outside of the zone. But let's see if he can settle down and no, so typical after, I would say, after you swing at a bad pitch, you have tendency to take the good pitch. So that one swing can really change the at-bat as Bobo Gales steps in, another legendary player here in Croatia and a long-time player of national team, a 36-year-old Bobo and player manager this year and actually took over last year in the middle of the last year for Olimpija. And, tough position to be in, but he is a tough player and just a tough human being. So I know he can do it and deliver. Baseball smart, really high baseball IQ, and he's got all the tools. Especially when he was younger, he could run, track the ball, he could throw a left-handed pitcher. Now just today de-aging, pretty beat up. But he got hit, got tagged the wrong way. A lot of things happened for Bobo, but he's a tough guy. So I know he can endure all kind of diversity on the field. So let's see how he's gonna do this at bat. And Flyers and Olimpija met 4 times in Europe so far. 2-2 is the score. This is their 5th game on European competitions. So similar like Olimpija, who celebrates 40 years. 1983, Karlovac Olimpija team was formed. So this is 40th year of Olimpija. Flyers baseball team was founded in 1980, so it's one of the oldest clubs and programs, baseball programs in Switzerland. Invested heavily into development, as do have a T-ball, U12 team, U15 team, and U18 teams, and they've been dominating and at top of the Swiss baseball for the last 10 years. So on a lot of, you can see they're playing in a lot of international tournaments, and it's great to see the game of baseball really developing. And when somebody asks you, oh, baseball in Switzerland, or for that matter, baseball in Croatia, you would say, oh, it's only here 5-6 years, but no, a lot of history in Europe as far as the baseball, as Bobo Gales is fouled that off, and there is actually the baseball, everybody say being American sport, and yes, of course, the true rules of baseball were written in America, but actually the baseball game itself was transferred to United States from Europe, and there is well, even if you go just go deep like Wikipedia and Google a couple of things, you'll see that that in French monastery there are the books. Before you didn't have a copying machine, so I think it's around 12 or 1300. They were copying the books of Alexander the Great. I believe I got the right age. If not, few hundred years plus minus will not make a difference. But as they were copying the books, so it was 6-7 people who were writing nicely. They were copying those books, and they were asked to add a certain moment from that time of what was happening in a monastery. And one of the pictures there you can see is a monk with a baseball bat and somebody tossing the ball. So there was already a game with the bat and ball being played at that time, and there is history about that game being called all kind of names. Even I think one of the name was a poison ball or something like that. So, but then you go in 1600 and in English literature, there is one actually poem that goes, round basis, and it's actually mentioning the baseball as a name. So it's the first time anywhere there is a written proof about baseball being mentioned. So it's way before there are first transcripts in the states, and in states you can go in 1820s or 30s. It was one of the municipality history record actually showed and had a record about complaint that there are windows being broken on a city hall uh, from people playing baseball. So those are all kind of when you backtrack interesting stats, but the way baseball actually did develop in Europe, and then from Europe expanded obviously in the States. There, the written rules got formed, and baseball actually got its shape and the rules the way it is now. And then the game was again. I think the Spalding actually had a tour around the Europe in the early 90s, 1900s, where actually the teams were being formed in England and in Italy, and those are the first, let's say, new age baseball development back in Europe. So really interesting history of baseball developed throughout different kinds of games being played with bat and a ball, went to the States where all the rules were being written and baseball was put into a sport that is today, and then brought back to Europe and spread around the Europe. So it's been played in organized in Europe, so more than 120 years, with Amsterdam Quick from Holland being the oldest team. I believe it's 1913 or 1911 or some age like that. Don't hold me on that one. You can, I guess, Google and do the Wikipedia and search like that and find out the right dates and all the names if you are interested in finding more about history of baseball in Europe. And like I mentioned, in Croatia, it all started after the World War One, where the ships were stationed in the port of Split, and the sailors, there were American sailors there who went actually on the coast of Croatia into the Split and played baseball there, and it caught there as first organized teams were being formed in Split. And in 1930s you have first ever Croatian team, Baseball Krupa, being formed. Baseball died a little bit during the and after the World War II, but then it started picking up in the 70s. Here in Karlovac in 71, group of students wanted to start the baseball, actually got donation and equipment, but just were able to carry the practices for a couple of months, and then didn't caught on until 1983, when actually the team was formed. And you had a chance, and we had a talk with Krunoslav Karin, who is one of the founding fathers of baseball here in Karlovac. It was a nice talk, and he explained a little bit of a history and how the team got started. And ever since, the team has been upgrading, and it's been really a great blessing for players here in Karlovac. How the things developed as a pick-off attempt, and Bobo Gales on second, Pero Rumor on first. As we talk a little bit about baseball history, the Phil Smith is in a batter's box. Phil Smith, who still is searching for first hit, really unusual for Olympia's ball crusher to be in this situation. Let's see if he's gonna turn it around in this game and get his really well-deserved hit. He hit a couple of balls hard, but when you're in a little bit of slump like that happens, those line drives have tendency to finish directly in a glove of opposing team. Feel certainly the hitting heart and soul of this team, not just the hitting, but just bringing overall the love for the baseball and love for the game itself. Pour his heart into the game, and it's a really great player and great teammate to have around, even if he's not really delivering as far as the hits. Just his presence here and his mentality is I would say just itself teams that he plays on are 30% better because he's here, and here's a chance for a young shortstop of a young Venezuelan player, Alcala, to really make a difference in this game. Bases loaded for him, and as he takes a cut on the first pitch, a little bit unusual after all these base and balls to do so, but I guess he got a pitch that he liked and he went after it. Strike two, so he's in a hole 0-2, and let's see if he's gonna be able to put the ball in play somewhere to score the runs and even the game. And nice hit down the left field line. It's gonna score 2 runs for sure without the play at a home plate. Pero Rumora really reading the ball good. Bobo Gales scoring, and Olimpija takes a lead 2-1 as Bobo Gales, who is, I say, beat up and cannot really play the field, is there giving the instruction to the young Benjamin Paulic. Really great transfer of knowledge that is happening here in Karlovac as the older players are sticking in the team, and it's really valuable to transfer what's happening in a game, and just not in a game itself, but overall transferring the knowledge and something that players have been trying out for 20 years, and they can actually explain to the young guys within a couple of days what they need to do and what they need to practice. And this in-game as well advises that older players can pick up certain things of players, and it's a really great teamwork for Olimpija, and it's been really amazing this tournament for them as a team, as sometimes it's hard when you have a 20 years difference between the players and 20 years difference in a lineup to maintain and to reach that team chemistry, but Olimpija really found its team chemistry here on this tournament, and it's as far as team strong, really working well for them, and it would be such a great end of a tournament for them to walk off here with a win and a chance for Croatia to have their spot in Cup of Champion next year, if that's gonna be the case, that this cup is expanding or changing its format, as Benjamin Paulic swings and misses, strikes out, and Benjamin, a player, a homegrown player of Olimpija, one of the players that it's really amazing around the kids. Even when he was a kid, when he was a 7-year-old kid, he would take care of the 4-year-old kids, and when he was 10, he would be there tying up everybody's shoes and making sure all these kids are younger than him are doing well, and he transferred that to his senior level, and really great on the field and off the field, helping kids, sharing his knowledge. So really great just human being as well, and it's no wonder this team chemistry is kind of clicking in for Olimpija, as young Bartol Bosanac, who really got a chance on this tournament, and did he take it. 4 hits, I think, Bartol has on this tournament, and for a 16-year-old to step up on a spot like this, playing 8 out of top 15 teams here, and he's able to deliver not just defensively with a great defensive and diving plays, but on the bases and at bat as well, as he kind of flinches from this big sweeping breaking ball by the Swiss player. And this is something that, of course, Bartol was not really seeing much in the youth leagues, those pitches, so it will take for a young player to adjust on those pitches, but this is just a valuable information and experience that he's getting, as Alcala takes a huge lead at first base. Ball outside, fastball. Bartol did not chase. You can maybe hear or see the train in Karlovac, really popular site here, as the train tracks are in the background of the outfield, and a ball, good block by the umpire, but as the ball went through the legs of the catcher, but hit the umpire. And actually, although it is a baseball ball, maybe that would be a chance for sneaky fast Phil Smith to score from the third. But umpire doing a really good job for defense of Swiss team. And Flyers pitcher in a little bit of a trouble early, and here comes the Ivan Mitrovic, one of the, we would say, veteran players, but he's still young, 28 years old. Just the last few years was not able to play as much as he wanted and practice as much as it happens with a life. Starting family, has 2 kids now, so as a life takes over, it's hard to balance the work and the family and everything that these players have to do in order to stay in a game. But really important for them to stay in a game, as I said, to transfer that knowledge that they gathered throughout the years of playing baseball to the youngsters as he attacks the first pitch, and it's gonna be a tough ball to catch for first baseman as he's unable to do that. Good job by second baseman of Flyers, really hustling, and that's a trouble spot, as we call it, behind the first base, where second baseman has a better angle to take that ball. It's the same thing, the trouble spot behind the third base, where shortstop should take charge. Let's see if Panda, like it's being called here, being lovable like a bear and rare like a panda bear, so it's good for him starting the families and two young pandas, Yakov and Luka. It's just a great family atmosphere here on a Four River Stadium, where now the players, as the players having a family, you can see a bunch of kids running around and staying in a baseball field and just exposed to baseball since young age. As Panda was not able to handle that sweeping breaking ball, strike 3 out, but Olimpija is ahead after the first inning, 2-1. So Terrell Flyers are now batting, trying to bounce back, and as Olimpija answered the one run that in the first inning that Flyers had, Carlos Garcia on a mound for Olimpija, who did pitch a lot of pitches, so we're not expecting him to hang in there long. Like I said, weather shaky today, and it's been shaky the whole week. Which is hard on these European tournaments, as the teams just come here for 5, 6 days, and they do have to go home today because most of them have work tomorrow, so they cannot afford to stay. So tournament has to be finished and has to be played. So we'll see how the day is gonna develop. There were some saying that even the third place game might get cancelled, so the finals can be pushed up earlier, as mostly like most European fields, the there's no money for the lights to be on a field, so we're bound with the dark. So if the final games does not start at 5 o'clock and gets pushed a little bit, even due to the rain delay, or even gets rain delayed longer, we're not able to finish today, and the teams have to go home. They have to leave hotels. So we'll see how this will get play out during the day. So if you want to watch the final game, stay tuned, because it might be pushing in a schedule in order for this tournament to finish. And we had one really floody day, as just it looked like end of the world at one point, with rain and hail coming in, and it was before Olympia's game. There's a ground ball and a chance for double play. Safe on both ends, as young Bartol Bosanac bobbled the ball a little bit. A little bit of misconfusion there, because the umpire, there are only two umpires working, so the umpire actually was looking at that call at second base, as Bartol Bosanac bobbled the ball first, so he was just able to slap it to first base. Then a home play umpire made a call on a first base, but kind of both were looking at the second base at that time, so I guess this is how the call is gonna stay, and Bobo Gales the manager of Olimpija, wants an explanation to see what's happening. But maybe that's when an inexperience comes in hand. This is the slow hit ball, and maybe the best chance for Olimpija defense was to get an out at first base, or especially when the ball was not fielded cleanly, there was no chance to get a runner on second base. So I don't know how they're gonna score that in the books, but let's see again. Yeah, a chance for Swiss team to once again get the runs on the board. The way he's built, looks like a young player of a Swiss team, and he bunts toward the third base, and Benjamin Paulic lets it go. If he caught it, it would be a chance to get an out. Definitely not an out on third base, but as we're talking about Flyers, Drew Creedon, it's a player, I believe, pitcher and utility player. Drew is 0 for 6 on this tournament. It doesn't say his age, but I believe he's a young prospect player of a Swiss team. As Rumora really creeps in, and they're gonna swing it, but good play! What a great play by Olympia's defense, a trick play that was put on by Phil Smith, and really heads up, high IQ play with second baseman creeping in, and for young Bartol Bosanac to recognize the signs and be there on time. What a great play. And really making up for that play before Olimpia defense, and that can be huge, and it's a second strike, and this can be so far a game changer, as Carlos Garcia strikes out young Drew for a second out, and let's see if this will be the play that changed the course of this inning, maybe even of the game. Adrian Kaufmann hitting 125 on this tournament, stepping in. Like we said, Swiss team was Flyers formed 1980s, and I looked at Wikipedia. National champions of Switzerland, 88, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, so 4 years in a row. Then 2003, 2009, 2014, 2016, and 17, and then 19 and 20, which gives them 13 championships. Like we said, Olimpija has 18 Croatian titles in their history, most of it in Croatia, most than any Croatian team. There was also a play as Jorman Alcala was going back behind the second base. It was daylight play, and Carlos Garcia apparently missed the sign, and he had a chance to throw also the guy on second base. If he would just turn and throw, it was pretty big lead, and Swiss base runner was kind of already leaning toward third base, but it goes as a stolen base. Slow roller toward third, but foul. It goes as a stolen base, and it is a stolen base, but it was a really good chance for Olimpija to get away with 2 outs on bases out of this inning after both runners reached the base. It was first and second, nobody out, and there goes, hit by pitch. Fortunately, I would say for Olimpija, hit by pitch, as the ball off the ground hits a batter, and it's gonna be first and third with 2 outs. Garcia, of course, not on top of his game, and nobody could be after pitching 144 pitches on Wednesday, and today on Sunday starting the game again, and while also playing the outfield during the tournament. So it takes really heavy load on the body to do something like that, as we know what pitching is and how hard it is to rebound after pitching 110 pitches, let alone 144. What Carlos Garcia did to pitch a complete game and to earn his international win against Vienna Wanderers on a Wednesday. A little pick-off attempt, a little bit more as just as a warning, I'm looking at you, then actually has a chance to throw somebody out. And decent fastball, swung and a miss by a Swiss player, number 28. Christopher Wayne Horn. He goes a steal. Let's see. No, it was just Olimpija did not put up any play, and usually there are 3 types of plays in situation like that when we have first and third, and usually gonna see a catcher come up and give us signs, and based on game situation, catcher's arm strength, who is running, you could have either a throw that is going through second base, you don't care about the runner on third, you just want to try to get the runner second, get an out, or there is a crash play where second baseman or shortstop are kind of crashing in because you want to for that throw to look like it's going to second base, and if it's really good, the players will let the ball go, even if a runner from third is breaking. But let's say if runner on third is not breaking and there is a good throw, they're gonna let the ball go. But sometimes if the runner is breaking, they'll be cutting that ball off and trying to get him. And usually a third type of play, it's either a fake or throw directly to the pitcher or something like that, where you try to actually get the runner on third, and then that also has to be a communication between third base and catcher. And you're gonna see if you pay attention to the game patiently and thoroughly, you're gonna see sometimes the third baseman and catcher just wiggle their glove, or when you're a good teammate, you know each other. It's just a look. You look at each other and you know what's handling, and then the third baseman might be crashing in and with his glove up, trying to get that runner out on third. So those are typically your 3 first and third defenses that teams have, and catcher, beside giving signs to the pitcher, has responsibility to call the bunt defenses and those first and third situation, along with, of course, all the relays at home, plays at home are handled by the catcher, who has the who is the only player turned this way and has best view of the field. As Carlos Garcia escapes the jam, a little bit one error, but then a good defensive play and a good comeback of Carlos Garcia for putting a first zero on a board for any team. And we're back as young Sven Anic, who is in a lineup today, young and quick, really fast player of Olympia, a junior national team player. He was also a part of that European League in Tenerife, the winter league that it's happening in Europe, and this is just a great site for young European baseball players to gather on a great sites of Tenerife, enjoy a little bit warmer weather that happens there during November, and just face off against their peers, and led by Peter Caliendo, who you know as international, just a true baseball guy, and he owner of a different podcast. You can see him on podcast and baseball academies, and he's been in baseball all his life, and he dedicated his life to expanding the game of baseball. So very well known around the world, and especially here in Europe. Very lovable guy, and great to have around, and did a lot of great things for development of baseball game itself. So Sven was part of that team with a couple of other young players from Croatia, from Zagreb, and hopefully this year it's gonna be even more young players being there. And one of the coaches being involved there is Manny Oliveira, as we mentioned, Manny being the as a check swing. They're asking the umpire at the first base for a check swing for a left-handed batter, which is strange to say the least. So he cannot make that call as far as we know it, but they do make the call that he went, and it's a strikeout, unfortunately for Sven. Usually it should be the home plate umpire call if there is no two umpires in a field. Usually there'll be one at the first base and one at the third base, but this time only the first base, and he makes a call for the left-handed, which basically has no good view. Home plate umpire has better view than he does. But yes, we were mentioning the coaches that really help out European baseball, and Manny Oliveira is the one, and he's really a great friend of Karlovac baseball. Great to have him here. As Kevin Volaric hits a ground ball, and it's mishandled by the third baseman, and Kevin Volaric, being one of the fastest guy on the team, reaches the base, kind of not happy with his at-bat performance, but smile on his face as well, as he knows he should be able to square that ball better. But right now, it doesn't matter for him. It's a team game, so he's on first base. Don't matter how he got there. All that matters is for Olimpija that Olimpija has a base runner. So really good things happening in Tenerife. So they're repeating this year. They had four youth teams. Those are from 16 to 21 players. The best players in Europe play each other, practice, and just being exposed for with the coaches like Pete Caliendo, Manny Oliveira, and there were of course other coaches there that I don't know them, so I cannot really say much about them, except that if Peter Caliendo is in charge and being there, that's a good quality coaches and human being set up there. And the boys had really amazing and great time. And our coach Dario Latkovic was there as well, and he enjoyed his time and experience there. And then it's such an important thing for for coaches and players to go elsewhere to look at the different styles of teaching and little bit styles of a game, because the game is global, and in every corner of the world is being taught just a little bit different, and you gotta go in there, experience, and implement something that really works for you, because maybe the Japanese style does not work in Croatia, but maybe works in Hungary, or it works with the one player but doesn't work with the other, or American style works better with somebody else. So this is a really global game expanding, and it's such amazing and actually great time to be alive as far as game of baseball, as game is expanding all over the world, and World Baseball Classic doing the great job to bringing the international presence of a baseball on a really high level. And success stories like Czech Republic, and if you have a chance, just Google. There's a couple of good even movies being made now about Czech Republic making it to the World Baseball Classic as one of the lonely European teams in the top 12 that plays just with their own players, without players being issuing citizenship. So Croatia has that luck, that luck and good luck for baseball, bad luck that people are searching their life elsewhere outside of Croatia. So a lot of them went to the United States, stayed there. So, and second generation of kids who play baseball there really enjoy coming back to their roots, coming back to Croatia. So for Croatia, this is a great pool of Croatian players that we are able to attract here in a national team and on a club level, which is great for the game of baseball, and really does a good job and brings awareness of a game. And those kids enjoy it. They get to connect with their roots being here in Croatia, and most of them speak Croatian. Of course, they do have a Croatian citizenship, as their parents or grandparents were born here in Croatia. So just a great exchange as Rumara smashes the one, but directly to the center field, and unfortunately for Olimpija, unable to move the runners to second and third. And Phil Smith stepping in, he walked the first time up. And Phil Smith is just another great success of what Karlovac baseball is doing, and it's a great exchange of players between Ohio and Karlovac, and the A's, Akron A's being the team there, that really good connection. And it started all the '89 with the Vukovic family, and a great friend of ours, late George Vukovic, who actually came here and did a lot of great things for game of baseball. Brought first American team in 1990 to play here, and then actually Croatian players had a chance to go 1991 on a tour, as it was a great exchange. The American team had a great time here, so we got invited there, and I was just a young guy at that time, 17, and had the chance to go to the States and experience the American life, and it was just right after the fall of socialism here. So it was at that time huge difference between the lifestyles, and especially in a baseball where we actually played. We didn't have really baseball parks, and Phil Smith punches the one, and he gets his first hit, RBI for Phil Smith, and here we go. Well deserved, Phil, and as he raises his arms, he knows it, and just our heart goes to Phil, and as he got a hit, and there is no happiest man on the field right now than Phil Smith, and you can see his big smile from 300 feet away, happy with his hit, and as it comes in a good time as Phil Smith punches the RBI. And still good chance for Alcala, who delivered in first inning the two RBIs. So let's see if he can continue the really good tournament Alcala is having. Yorman, one of the players that from Venezuela, and lately, last 6-7 years, a lot of Venezuelan-born players were spread around Europe, and like that in Croatia. And as Karlovac baseball, again, connection, really good connection with Simon Radicic. Alcala hits a fly ball, but it's gonna be foul ball and out of play. As Yorman Alcala, who is batting 364, also part of exchange of the players that Simon Radicic and his agency are doing a really good job, as they are already screening the players there. So a lot of times it happens that maybe you get the good players by the stats, but the players that not fit with the personality in the certain team. And especially in the teams like Olimpija and other teams, most of the teams in Europe, they do not get, they don't have paid players. So those players that do get some, let's say, room and board being paid, it's there is a tendency, and it can be some sparks between the players. As Bobo Gales takes off, and that's what I was saying about his IQ experience. He has a good baseball IQ. He has experience, and he's able to read the pitcher and just takes third base easily, standing without defense even noticing that he actually took off. Let's see, they're gonna give a sign again, and Phil Smith looks like he's ready to run. Pitcher steps off a plate and brings the field back. Bobo Gales, player manager, like I said, giving the signs from third base, and let's see if he put the steal on or some other kind of play, as Olimpija is really performing aggressive baseball this year, and a lot of steals, a lot of hitter runs. So stays put, and Alcala, and great over the head catch for a third out. Good job. But Olimpija is able to put in one run on a Phil Smith, and does it. He feels good, Smith, right now with his first hit on a tournament, and Olimpija takes 3-1 lead. And top of the third inning, Carlos Garcia, who started first game Wednesday against Vienna Wanderers and collected the W with a 144 pitch complete game. You can see that he's not himself. Obviously, a short rest for such a long outing he had, but it's not unusual here in European baseball to be so. Swing high, towering ball. It's a trouble spot ball, and it drops there for a single. We've seen a couple of plays there when Olimpija had a problem with that. First baseman, second baseman, right field converting. Even once the team was able to score after the ball dropped and got picked up, but players were not just they're kind of looking at each other. Hey, you saying who needed to make a call for that? Well, the player from the third scored, so actually 2 runs were scored on a pop-up like that with less than 2 outs. So definitely trouble spot for Olimpija and something that will need it to be worked on as the season progresses. Olimpija playing the championship, and it's the 32nd Croatian championship this year, 223. Out of 31 played so far, Olimpija won 18, so more than rest of the league. Zagreb and Split being the other two teams that won Croatian league, and there's big four teams here in Croatia. Vindija Varaždin, it's another team that actually was never a champion of Croatia, played a couple of finals but lost both of them. And Olimpija itself winning 18 championship, but was in 28 finals out of those 31, so that's pretty impressive run. So always in top of the Croatian league, which means of course a lot of chances to play on European Cups, because usually just the first two teams of the league, sometimes even one team, have a chance to play in European Cup. That's the way the cups here are set up in Europe, and overall even if you looked at the soccer and you had the finals of champion leagues last year, not every team can participate in those tournaments. Those are not, or the leagues, they're not invitational. You earn your right playing through the national leagues around Europe. That's why the national leagues are really important. There's a lot of call-up tournaments here in Europe, but they do not get such a great attention as a national championship, which is the right way to do it, because then every national champion really is the one that has a chance to play the European tournaments. And like I said, this is I believe 23rd European tournament for Olimpija, so a lot of experience if you play for Olimpija team, a lot of experience for young players as well, while maybe other teams and other players don't have a chance maybe in their career, have a maybe chance to play or one or two European tournaments or none, so they do have to go through those invitational tournaments in order to gain some international experience. And it's been usually the three teams that's been in Croatia on these main European tournaments. Ball hit to the center fielder. Karen Volaric catches it, tag, but just a fake to draw the throw, maybe draw an error throwing, but Kevin Volaric handles that easily, and good relief for Carlos Garcia to get an out, easy out like that. So like I said, champion for 18 times, Olimpija is 28 finals, and looking again strong this year, although this year is league maybe the most the closest than ever, because there are four teams battling really head to head, so one win is going to decide. The way it looks like now, Olimpija will have advantage uh, and being first in the league and playing semi-finals, which is best of 5 in Croatia. Last year it was best of 7, and a good play by Olimpija defense. It looked like the ball beat the runner at second base, but apparently the tag was put late as runner was able to come back and stay safe. But Olimpija really aggressive with the pickoff attempts. Like I said, Olimpija does play aggressive baseball offensively, but also they're doing it defensively, and this is a, like I said, experienced team that knows all the tricks in the books. And another pick-off attempt handled nicely by Pero Rumora. Great job by Pero Rumora staying low. Also good throw, the low throw, which then the tag is right there. Of course, it can be dangerous. The ball can bounce or it can hit the base runner and get away. But if you throw high, then of course you have to bring the glove down, and that loses time, and every inch matters in baseball. So good job by Olympia's defense and pitchers and catchers and infielders, keeping the base runners of Swiss team on their toes. Do not give them that extra step on a secondary lead that sometimes is crucial when running to home plate. So it's nice to see all-around baseball for Olimpija, for Karlovac's program, and this is something that the Karlovac's program is proud of. It's a program that really takes care about the defense and the pitching mostly. Last couple of years, Olimpija was able to add really ball crushers like Jose Herrera, who played here, a Venezuelan ball player, played 2 seasons now, is playing these last 2 years playing in Italy in Grosseto, and he was just a beast here, playing a shortstop and smashing the deep home runs. So Olimpija had last 4 or 5 years really a run like that in the players, and even some European players that were being added, like Vlastimir Aranjelovic, also showing and hitting some monster shot here, and then Phil Smith, of course, and Bobo Galdes joining in, and Toni Horvatic, Kruno Gojkovic. Those are all the players who were able to put baseball over the fence, and Carlos Garcia joined last 2 years. It's pretty good at bat by number 31, staying alive and battling off great pitches. And if you watched the Yankees and Red Sox last night, there was one of Boston player that fouled, I think, or 14, or had 14 pitches, but fouled off. Just so many pitches to the ground. At the end of the day, just walked, of course. And let's see if Carlos Garcia is gonna stay in a strike zone, and if he's gonna win this battle. That it's and he wins it with a strikeout. Good job by Carlos Garcia, not giving in and staying in the strike zone for strike 3 out. Carlos Garcia, 4th strikeout of a game. Nice crowd, a little bit gathering. The sun comes out, and let's hope we should have a double steal attempt. And gunned down by Phil Goodsmith. What a game he's having. He got a first hit and carried over into the defense, and really commanding catcher of Olimpija Karlovac, and heart and soul of this team. Guns down the runner in third for another 0. Although it says 3-2 here. Did I score the run? Did I miss the run while talking? I don't know. We'll check it out. Yes, I did miss the run. They're saying, so sorry about that. 3-2. And we'll be right back. So bottom of a third, Kevin Valery stepping in, and as I said, I did miss that run on sacrifice fly as I was looking at second base, but yeah, sorry about that, but bear with me. I'm no professional announcer, just a baseball player that loves the game and wanted to share my experience and make a game for our viewers a little bit interesting and more like a real baseball game that you are watching home. But you do have luxury to see the stats, and everything is well organized, and with people here working around me, and just putting every ball and strike and every run, and it's all connected with the stats that WB BSC has. So really good job by a lot of people. It takes a lot of people for this to happen. So it's been really impressive what people behind the scene, people that you don't see, are doing in order for this to go through. And we are all amateurs and volunteers, and it's just amazing in this day and this age that what you can do. But it takes, of course, dedication and trying out different things, and our three cameras that we put up, and you have to try, and there is all kind of problems that you have to solve on a spot in order for this to run smoothly as possible. So I hope you who are watching are enjoying this, and little glitches and little error, don't take it by heart, as we're trying to do our best. And so does Benjamin Pavlovic to stay alive and fouled off a tough pitch. Takes a walk. Good job by Benjamin Pavlovic. A lead-off walk, and let's see, young Bartol Bosanac comes in, and what kind of play that's gonna be. I see Bobo Gales giving the signs, and we'll see if there's gonna be a bunt or not. Could be good bunt situation, but then again, Bartol Bosanac shows some good batting. And bunts to the third baseman. Great job again by young Bartol Bosanac, doing his job, getting the bunt down as he gets claps from the crowd, and his teammates doing the job, moving the runner really crucial. Goes as a sacrifice bunt, sorry. Will not show up in a stats as a at-bat, but it will show in a category sacks. And chance for Ivan Mitrovic Panda with the one swing to get back that run. Scored in the top of the inning for the Swiss team. And hits it to the right, but it's gonna be foul. It would be deep enough to score. Ivan Mitrovic, just a outfielder, but also a relief pitcher, and he has just throws just two pitches basically, and one pitch fastball that kind of cuts. And ooh, what a great breaking ball! Ivan Mitrovic turning his back, but the ball really started in his body and broke really big time. Wow, pretty amazing pitch, impressive. Attempt of a pick-off, but not throwing the ball, just an inside move, what it's called by the pitcher. Trying to keep runner honest, and his ball gets away from the catcher. Benjamin Pavlovic rounds third base. Takes a look at the catcher and decides to stop, which is of course a good decision, but you have to be aggressive and always think a base ahead, or you're not going to be able to start on time. and then you're gonna lose that fraction of a second that it's most of the time crucial in a bang bang play. So expect the ball in the dirt and expect to run the next base and make sure. And Panda, let's see. It's an easy sacrifice fly and 2 sacks, and what a production by Olimpija. That's calling a manufacturing runs without a hit, scoring a run. Great job by the Olimpija offense. Each player doing their job. And as two of them walk off the field and getting high fives from their teammates for great performance. So base and ball, sacrifice hit, wild pitch that moved the runner to third, and then Panda doing his job, hitting the fly ball far enough. Benjamin Pavlinic tagging at third, waiting for that ball to settle in the glove of the outfielder, and then running toward home plate. There was no play at all at the home plate, and Benjamin scores the 4th run for Olimpija, and Olimpija just doubled their lead and got the run back. And let's see Sven Anic, number 9 batter, or the second leadoff, which certainly he is, with his speed and ability to run the bases. And a couple of tough calls for on this tournament, I would say, for young Sven. And sometimes it can go this way for you. You feel like a whole world is against you. He swings and misses. Sven Anic hitting 200 for this tournament, and it's if he stays in a baseball long enough. Also a pitcher, a left-handed pitcher, as he swings through strikeout, but Olimpija got that run back, 4-2 after the third. And top of the 4th inning, and we're gonna talk a little bit, have a chance to talk about the Croatian league itself. And Croatian league being played by 6 teams this year, and first 4 teams reach the playoffs, semifinals being played as best of 5, and the finals best of 7. And like I said, 32nd, it's gonna be 32nd Croatian series, and Croatian series is first 3 years, 92, 93, 94 were played as best of 3 series, and after that best of 7, which really brought a baseball or World Series like feel to the game. And not many countries in Europe do the best of 7, which is a shame, I believe, because anyways the season of European teams is short. Max goes around, top leagues go 30-40 games, most league go in a 20 game regular season. So if you're able to extend that playoff run when the best team usually play, as a ground ball to Benjamin Pavlic, he handles it, throws across the diamond to Petar Rumora for a first out. As that's then the teams have a chance to play against best of each other, and it's been amazing run for the last 10 years in Croatian series. It's been mostly Karlovac and Split playing 9 of those. Last year, Zagreb was able to sneak in there between the two teams. Alcala, nice diving stop, throw across the diamond. Wow, what a play! A Major League Baseball play here. Just put him on ESPN Reels. What a play by Jorman Alcala, really showing off why he's here and why Simon Radicic is guy to be trusted in Venezuela when recommending and sending the players. So what a great play by Alcala. As I was saying that those series for the last 10 years, so in the last 10 years we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 game 7. So there was 4-3 wins. It was just amazing to see the baseball when teams are dead even, and you have good competitive teams then playing each other, and it's just a treat for baseball fans, and it just brings the level of a baseball game up. So really follow us on our Olympia YouTube channel this year. As ground ball is hit, Benami Polic dropped it, but was able to retreat it and throw it across the diamond for a third out, and all now definitely a 0 in this inning. So we'll be right back with a little bit of Croatian League history after the break. We're back with Kevin Volaric leading off, and as between the innings, I'm trying to get one of the players who played for Olympia, Karlovac, and there were many, and it's great to see them back here at this event, and a lot of old school guys, as you can see on the pictures maybe on our Facebook page, are here, and it's amazing because this here would not be possible without them when they started in '83 and had to endure playing at the local parks with no bases, with just one bat and few balls, and not enough gloves at the end of the day. So it's amazing how it all got started and where it is now, and what a beautiful stadium and complex that Olympia has here, that it's able to have coaches and professional coaches at the end of the day working with the kids, and it's really, really amazing scenery and just a real old school baseball feel here in Karlovac, with the train tracks behind, and in the middle of a city, the the stadium is, and great indoor with two indoor cages and iron mic and a lot of weightlifting room and a clubhouse, and players have a locker room with their own lockers, and just amazing setup all around. The bar, of course, the famous Jimmy's Corner that our legendary Hall of Fame player James Summers, who came in 1995 to Croatia in the middle of a war to play for Karlovac's team, and what a big difference that he made for not just Olimpija Karlovac team, but the Croatian baseball itself. And if you go Google Jimmy Summers, and you'll see some of the legendary pitching performances that he had for Karlovac team and for national team as well on European level. Played later on in ADO Den Haag in the Dutch league, dominated the Dutch league there as well, and now actually director of Play Ball Academy in Greentown, Ohio area, that's around Kenton area, and also our baseball academy. And that academy, we do have a really great relationship, and exchange of knowledge between those two academies is amazing, and we're able to send the players over and send the coaches and kind of exchange experience. And hopefully Jimmy is gonna join the Croatian national team as a coach this year as well. He was a coach player 2 years ago. On his birthday, was able to come in actually and pitch a game against the Belgium. This was a game for 7th place, and made the stop for Croatia as Croatia beat the Belgium, and it was had the best ever 7th place on European Championship after losing quarterfinals to hometown Italy. 8-5 was that game. So hopefully Jimmy Summers is gonna be here. We know Manny Oliveira is gonna be here for the Spanish team, and we here in Karlovac are looking into organizing after this European Championship. So beginning of October, organize the clinic here and bring these experienced coaches to work with our coaches, not just our Olimpija Karlovac, but we want to spread it to the other teams as well, as Karlovac's baseball program is known to share the knowledge that it's learning throughout the game. Although you're sharing it to, let's say, your opponents, but we just want a game to be developed and game to be played right way. And that this is our motto, what we try to do: practice hard, play hard on the field, play hard, and after the game, shake everybody's hands. And we're all here in the same boat. We're here for the love of the game. Nobody's here to be rich. Or as Perumara smashes the ball into the left field, and Kevin Volaric kind of looking back, not really the best of the base running by Kevin, but Bobo Gale stopped him, and first and third for Olimpija, and another chance for Olimpija to add a run. As for sure today, Phil Goodsmith, maybe he was feeling down a little bit last couple of games, did not have a hit, which is unusual for him, because if you look at the last 4 or 5 European tournaments this kid had, and he hit way above 500 in those tournaments, so unusual setting for him. And he's just a guy that loves baseball so much, and we know how much that was aching him in his heart. So really glad to see that he got that monkey off his back, got it hit, and now has a chance, like he says, to do something cool with the bat, and let's see if he's gonna be able to do so. As he takes strike, nodding his head. Not that he was supposed to swing, but not really sure that was a strike, but umpire called it. So as you can see, helmets of Olimpija, and each player got its own helmet. That's thanks to the donation of SSK Europe and Alex Spickerman. Double steal, and let's see how it's gonna play out. Safe! Kevin is safe again. Aggressive double swing hitter, double steals with the swing, which means almost a hitter run. Again, really aggressive baseball by Olimpija, and it pays off. Another run being scored. Great job by Olimpija offense, and let's see if Olimpija is gonna be able to capitalize once again with Phil Smith. Still has a chance with one run to score Pero Rumara, who is a big guy but really moves fast. He's kind of like a football player. You see them, they're all strong guys, but as Phil Smith stays alive with the foul ball, good bat control. So Rumora is that type of a guy that if he's running your way and you're on a base or you're a catcher, you better follow the rules and give him space to slide. Outside, good secondary lead by Pero Rumora. So typically on base you have a primary lead, which is 3 steps on first base and third base and 5 steps on second base, and then you extend a couple of shuffles, and the more you can extend, the closer you're to base, obviously. While defense like this tries to keep you closer, but you try to find the timing, the right timing, and pick up the pitcher, and as Rumora gets in a pitcher's head. So this is also important because this helps the batter out, because the pitcher is splitting his attention to the defense, to the runner, to his defense, trying to maybe throw a pickoff, not really paying attention to his pitches, and he misses few inches, and then the ball gets out of hand like it did this. So certainly, as you can see, it happens, and the more you're aggressive on a basis, this is why it's important to be on a basis and just be real aggressive and take that extra step and just to make the pitcher uncomfortable on the mound, that he starts to think about you as a base runner and then just splits his attention. There's very few in the world that can kind of not be affected by those base runners. As Phil Smith attacks that ball and foul ball, and those are the cuts that look like old Phil Smith cuts, really strong and aggressive. And let's see if he's gonna be able to bring Pero Rumora in and just extend lead. Good take, good pitch also, borderline pitch, but Phil did not bite for that one. As Pero Rumora is at third, taking a bigger lead and creeping in. And Phil Smith, again, great hit by Phil Smith. It will not show in the books as a hit, but nevertheless, he's hitting the ball hard, which is great, and he drives in the Pero Rumara in. And like I said, this is maybe the third line drive on this tournament that was being caught to Phil Smith. This one being, fortunately for him, productive, scoring in the run, but he's just kind of picking up his arms. And that's, like I said, on these European tournaments, you have 4 or 5 games in a row, and sometimes you're a great hitter, but it's just not your week, or you are run out of luck, and it really shows in average. And maybe you get lucky, a couple of infield hits, or one ball hit with an eye sneaks through, and your average goes up by a couple of 100 points, and that's the baseball in 4 or 5 game span. It's sometimes it's not really fair to the players. So don't be judging players just by the stats and the numbers. You have to see players and know players in order to really understand who they are. And ball out of the stadium, catcher entered, baseman converting, but out of play, and Yorman Alcala signaling to himself, repeating that muscle memory that is really important. And we talk about that. The players work hard on their mechanics, pitching and hitting and fielding as well, and but mostly you see them working on pitching and hitting. And Alcala, really hard worker, and trying to build that muscle memory up. That did not work this time, and catcher was able to handle that. Those are tough balls. Olimpija scores, and it's 6-2 up after the 4 innings.
Završila je 4. izmjena.
back? I think so. Yes, they're nodding me that I'm back. So, while I was gone, nature call. It was 6-3. They tell me so. Shortstop to first base. We have our a new scorekeeper here. So he's just talking now in numbers constantly. So, which is amazing. As a scoring itself in baseball is really important, and stats in baseball are really important, but stats do not show up by themselves. There's people working behind that. Sven Anic is tracking that ball and gets underneath and records an out, second out. And Carlos Garcia really settling in and just not trying to do much, throwing strikes, and another great job so far by Carlos Garcia. And like I said, there are many legendary players here of Olimpija Karlovac that are walking around. We'll try to get one of them. They're kind of, most of them are camera shy as far as talking, so if you want to see them, you have to go to Facebook page. Picture they don't mind, but I tried to get him to join as a line drive is hit to the left field. Petar Mitrovic caught that ball, but he kind of had a footwork like he was ready to fire that ball from left field to the first base as it was a bullet to him. He was getting ready to throw the guy at first, have a 7-3 as scoring, but it's not gonna happen. We had 9-3 happen this in a tournament, and for you baseball stats lover, you know what that means. 9-3 means that the right fielder threw the guy to at first base. Trouble spot again, ball for Olimpija. It drops foul. It was left fielder, shortstop, and third baseman converting for that ball, but it's just shy out of the reach of all three players. It happens sometimes. You drive the ball real hard to the right fielder, and if he's playing you in and decided to play you in, then if you don't take off from the batter's box right away, they can get you out at first base. And I myself had a couple of plays like that. I was not on a running side getting thrown out, but actually played a couple of games in right field and had a chance, and I took it. Being the infielder most of my life, it was kind of natural for me, like a throw from third base, to throw the guy out. So I can brag about that. I do have 9-3 in my books, so with a lot of 6-3 and 5-3s, and there is a 9-3 in my book as well. So we'll try to get one of the players, and Dario Vojak, who is actually now active president of the team and really taking care of all these things around stats here, along with other people from World Baseball Softball Confederation that are here. But he's a head guy running, making sure everything runs smoothly, and also recording some of the games. So that's the reason why you do have a live feed, and you do have these live stats, which makes baseball so much better. And Carlos Garcia just picking his spot and striking out. So putting the 0 in the top of the 5th inning for Switzerland. Carlos Garcia, great job. Benjamin Paulic steps in. Benjamin Paulic hitting 111 on this tournament. Unusual for him as well. He's above 300 hitter for sure. By his baseball knowledge and what he's able to do. Gets on base a lot with the base and balls and a lot of hit by pitches. So as a new pitcher came in for a Swiss team, a left-handed pitcher this time. Let's see how Olimpija is gonna be able to adjust to a new pitcher. And Benjamin Paulic, good baseball zone awareness, really good strike zone awareness for a young player, I would say, because he just started the first year at college. So a young player, but for him, really high baseball IQ guy. So as he tracks the ball, and there are some certain players like that there are two in Croatian league that have tendency to. Mario Manojlo from Zagreb and Benjamin Paulic here from Olimpija Karlovac are the ones just attracting that ball. A lot of hit by pitches, and that's how they get on base. As Benjamin reaches down and just pops up the ball, as second baseman is underneath it and takes care of an out. So it's great to see a lot of baseball folks here, and Tomo from Ljubljana, the great friend of baseball and umpire now, really umpiring baseball and baseball 5 and softball. So great to see people come here and enjoy the baseball games. So he drove all the way from Ljubljana, which is like which is a different country, and 2.5 hours away drive just to be here and watch the finals of this Europa Cup. So this is a pretty big event for the region itself. There's not many European Cups being held in the region. So people who love baseball have chance to come here to Karlovac, which is really a beautiful city with the 4 rivers, a lot of green areas. As I was doing my morning run, not much, just 5K, not getting ready for Ironman. This is just a little bit for, let's say, health. And I don't know what is more healthy, running or is it too healthy for me, or the feeling that I get after 5 kilometers. But yeah, just enjoy the scenery and enjoy the rivers. And it's just running between like 2 bridges. We have here on Korana River going through the center of a city, and actually when it's warm time, and it should be warm time now, usually this time of year you're able to swim normally, and there's a couple of places, nice spots on the river where it's kind of everything taken care of, or like a public beach, but also those just the small spots where you can find place for yourself. As Panda hits a soft ground ball for a turnout, and a good outing by a young Swiss pitcher, putting up the 0, and it's stays 6-2 after 5.
Završila je i 5. izmjena.
And top of the 6th inning, Swiss team trailing 6-2 to Olimpija Karlovac. Let's see if they're gonna be able to come back, battle for the 5th place, and if Olimpija wins, they're gonna have 2 wins in that little, let's say, league of 3 teams. Vienna Wanderers being the one who beat the Swiss team yesterday. They have 1 win, 1 loss. 1 loss goes against Olimpija in a group play that got carried over to this little mini league where Olimpija now plays the Swiss team. And if it's gonna stay this way, Olimpija is gonna have 2 wins and it's gonna take the 5th place. A nice slap to the right field and good hitting for a base hit. And then if Swiss team would win, it's gonna be depending on the runs. This is where Austrian team is, although it lost to Olimpija 5-2, really beat the Swiss team with a lot of run difference, I believe 11 or so. So they do have a lot of plus 8 in the runs. Olimpija has +3, and in case they would lose, of course, they wouldn't be in plus, which would leave them probably behind the Vienna Wanderers. And if they would lose heavily to the Swiss team, then Swiss team would be able to get ahead of Olimpija on the run difference and take the 6th place. As the 7th place is the way they're saying, it's the one that's gonna be relegated. The one that's gonna be relegated to the Federation Cup. So the team that finishes 7th is gonna lose the spot in Confederation Cup, which is the 2nd highest cup in a year, and be relegated to the 3rd cup, which is Federation Cup. There are also other qualifying cups beneath this one, as this is a long road for teams to climb, and actually it's hard because you gotta win on European level and win the national leagues in order to stay in the loop, because sometimes you're gonna do good job on European tournament, but you're not gonna win national championship, so somebody else basically from the league will take your spot, as there is a base hit to center field, and Swiss base runner from 2nd, not really thinking at all about scoring, are building up for a big inning, 1st and 3rd. And time being called, and I didn't see any bullpen activities happening. We know that Garrett Perkins was supposed to be there. There's Pavel Karin, who did amazing job for against the Spanish team. Then he's available to pitch as well. And there are a couple of younger players and pitchers who are ready to pitch, who did not pitch on this tournament. So we're gonna just go off. We have a situation that a couple of cars blocked the way, so we're gonna have let PA and announcer do his job. So go ahead. Just tell him, move your cars. Čekaj, nemaš sad u sred pića, ne, ej. Well, we cannot do it now, obviously. We do have it was a good thing. Okay, now it's a good time to say something, PA.
Molimo vlasnike automobila zagrebačke registracije I švicarskog automobila koji su odmah do ulaza da se pomaknu.
Okay, stop. We have to balance out the information as the road is being blocked by the 2 cars, so PA is saying for those cars in the stands, people in the stands, to please move the car, but obviously they want to interrupt with a baseball game as well. And ball is ground ball to shortstop, 1 out, and it's unable to do double play, so RBI for the player who is running to first base as a runner from a 3rd score. And generally you do get an RBI even if you're an out. if the runner scores, which we've seen on sacrifice flies, but it can also happen like this on a ground ball. If it would have been a double play, although even a runner scored, you don't get an RBI. So it's an interesting thing, just stats to know. If double plays being made, but runner scores, you don't get an RBI as a hitter. So young Swiss batter was able to run it out. This is why it's important to run those bases, and I really hate seeing when the guys don't run. I mean, you come up to at bat 4 times. Is that really hard to run this 90 feet, 27 meters? Come on, especially on a strikeout. It just I would just kind of I would throw somebody off the team for not running after third strike when the strike is dropped. It's just let alone you did not hit the ball, so at least you can run hard for 5 seconds to the first base. So, but that's just me. But I think any baseball player that really loves baseball, it's the one that hustles out every time and hustles out. It can happen, of course, that you kind of do some brain fog and you don't kind of run, especially if you get mad on yourself really, and then you get out of focus. But generally, if you're a true baseball player and you're gonna run every ball hard, no matter if you're 6-year-old or 48 years old, so you should do your 100% every time you step on a baseball field. That's how the game should be played, and that's how we are taught. And like I said, we are the old school baseball program here, and we cherish that history, we cherish the past, and some unwritten rules of baseball are here for sure implemented in our mentality and our philosophy about the baseball. So that's why people who understand baseball love being here, enjoy themselves here, and they're always well received. Opponents, doesn't matter who you are. Between the lines, you're not gonna be well received, of course, but once we step off before or after the game, there is no reason why we cannot sit down and talk baseball and just spread the love of the game throughout the whole continent, so, and world for that matter, because a lot of international and US tours the Olympia baseball did has been guest in the States. Oh, a tough ball, I think it just licked the top of the backstop, so even if Phil Smith would have been able to catch it, it just went off his glove, but even if he was able to catch it, it would be a foul ball, although I did not see the umpire signaling it, but it certainly did take a strange turn in the air. A pick-off attempt while the ball is in foul ball dead, so Olympia really trying to keep the runners close, really even on a foul ball. And Carlos Garcia walks another batter, a lot of walks for Carlos Garcia, but like we said, it's normal. A lot of this is fourth walk, so 5.2 innings, but let's see if Carlos can actually close this 6th inning with just 1 run. And backdoor pickoff, and it works! Wow, what a great exposition of a trick plays by Olympia, and I believe that was the 3rd out, but it's 2nd, so I guess the stats as well are not really doing the job. So sorry, let me refresh. It was 5.2 innings already, so for some reason I thought that was 3rd out, but it was nevertheless the great play again by the Olympia defense, and really a lot of trick plays today to keep the runners honest and Switzerland really not doing themselves a favor, getting so many outs. When you have a pitcher who threw 144 pitches just a few days ago, and you get so many out on bases, it's never a good thing for your end result. But still, very in this game, 6-3. It's like I said. There was a reporter here in Karlovac saying that when Karlovac lost 10-4, it was a blowout of 10-4, and I tried to explain that in baseball, you have to record 27 outs, and in anything down to 4 runs, it's a close game because it can be decided in one swing. And Carlos Garcia, just a backhand flip, he bobbled the ball a little bit, but a little bit circus-style baseball of Olimpija pitcher, but 1 run scored, top of the sixth, 6-3 Olimpija. And we have a change in the infield. Duje Papic coming in. Duje Papic, a young, exciting player of Olimpija Karlovac, 18 years old, but already by the things he did in the senior team, more experienced player, we would say. Really had a great postseason last year, was dominant as a pitcher. Came in a couple of close situations in ninth innings and was able to pitch ninth and 10th innings and record the wins, record the save. I believe he had 2 wins and a save in that with one quality start in that series. So really good job by Due, but he was battling the elbow injury since beginning of the season, so really not playing much as his last few games returning on a field, and now this way young Bartol Bosanac had a chance to step in and really proved all the confidence that Bobo Gales had in him. So really good job by young Bartol Bosanac as Duje Papic is taking that ball in the dirt, and Duje really works hard on hitting, but does not really show because has trouble transferring those good at bats in a cage and good poise in a cage that he has actually to the field as he takes hit by pitch, which is as a leadoff. He did his job. He got on base and 6-3. Like I said, very close ball game. Anything close to 4 runs, it's a close ball game, and 10-4 especially in European baseball is really far away from a blowout. and I'm referring to Croatian reporters reporting a 10-4 blowout loss of Olimpija. As Kevin Voleric, great bunt, and I think he's gonna be able to beat it. He's off the bag, and first baseman is, and it's gonna be hit by Kevin Voleric. Great design play. It is a bunt for base hit as a sign, but it always worked good. You try to bunt for base hit. The worst you can do is get an out and move the runner, but it was perfect bunt. Pretty good play by the third baseman, who came in and grabbed the ball barehanded and fired it to the first base, but just pulled the first baseman a little bit off the base, which was enough. Like I said, it's game of inches, and that inch paid off for Kevin, and Kevin is first and second. Bobo Gales on the mound, and Bobo Gales sacrificing himself. What a great job, and another base hit. Wow, really small ball by Olimpija. What a great baseball game itself. Amazing defensive plays, and doing the small ball as well. Wow. There was that one inning we had when Olimpija had a walk, and there was a sacrifice bunt to move the runner to second, and then wild pitch to third, and sacrifice fly. So Olimpija scoring without a hit. Here, two back-to-back base hits on a bunts, and it's all loaded up for Pero Rumora, and does he loves the situations like this. Bases loaded, a power hitter Rumora. Let's see. And he smashes the ball into the center field. It's gonna score one run, but it's been hit so hard that Kevin Voleric has to stop, and Duje Papic scores the 7th run for Olimpija Karlovac. Like I said, Pero Rumora, does he love situation like that when he knows they have to come to him. And great, again, small ball by Olimpija Karlovac, and what the exposition of true baseball defensively, with a lot of pickoffs of the pitcher and catcher. Really a lot of trick plays that make this game where they are now. So as Phil Smith steps in, and let's see, Phil, he knows now the pitcher again has to come to him, and Phil Smith had couple of last at bats, really great shots. He has one hit to show for it, and one sacrifice fly, and it's been caught a couple of times. His line drives, and let's see if the Swiss pitchers can handle such a hitting beast that Phil Smith is. Unfortunately, if you were watching this tournament, you were not able to see the full exposition of hits what Phil has, and let's see. He can put the ball over railroad tracks and smash the ball into the gap toward the train. Sure double for Phil Smith. It's gonna be 2 RBIs as Rumora, a sneaky fast guy, is in and safe, and Phil Smith takes the third base on that, and wow, what a great offensive and base running performance by Olimpija, and base clearing double, and great baseball awareness by Phil Smith, taking the base, extra base on throw of the outfielders, because they were trying to get a run, cut a run at home, and Phil Smith recognized ball over the cutoff and took another base for Yorman Alcala. And this is more like Olimpija offense that we're used to seeing it here, not really showing up in innings where Olimpija was not scoring much. Usually Olimpija scores almost every inning and then just puts up a couple of crooked numbers in a game, and well, here this is more of Olimpija game on Olimpija offense, and really good job. The ball drops, aggressive Phil Smith. It's just kind of popped out of the catcher's glove to the right, and Phil Smith recognized that on top of his game, really focused and getting every ball he can. It says 11-3 here on the scoreboard, so 5 runs on official scoreboards, 11-3, but scoreboard on the field says 10-3. I believe it is 11-3 then. Alcala grounds to the second baseman. Productive out again by Orman, getting the RBI, scoring Phil Smith, and now we're already reaching the spot where the mercy rule can happen. 10 runs difference in European leagues and European tournaments means mercy rule after 7 innings. So if Olimpia is just able to tag one more run, they're they're able to, with one more defense in top of the seventh, actually put this game in the books and just record this win and fifth place with the authority. And a good job by Olimpia players as the ball takes a heavy hop and it's gonna go in the books and should go as a base hit, as the first baseman could not handle that. It was just a kind of a scary hop. Player had to protect his face, so just couldn't do it. And young Bartol Bosanac is in. For some reason I thought that and he records another hit, and good job by Bartol. His, I think, fifth hit on a tournament. Let's check out the stats. Hitting 333, and this is definitely gonna help his average as Marin Vukmirovic, a pinch hitter, is coming in. So I said wrong who Duja was replacing. So Duja was replacing Sven Anic. I don't know how that was, but anyways, we're gonna have a pinch runner coming in for Benjamin Paulic, and it's gonna be young Ron Karin getting his second chance to play on this tournament in a game that was deciding for semifinals against the Belgian team. Came in into ninth inning with 2 outs and just fired up the crowd, hitting the ball hard and reaching the third base. I think it was scored as a triple. So we have two changes. Marin Vukmirovic coming in and Ron Karin. And when you look at the bases, Ron Karin, who is 16, is on second base, and Bartol Bosanac, who will be turning 17 in September, is on first base. So young guns of Karlovac. Let's see how they're gonna handle this. Bartol's been great on the bases as well, really showing what he learned in his youth experience, and really transferring that base running from there to the higher level is always a challenge, but he's been able to do so. And the ball gets by the catcher as players do move another base, and really good chance for Olimpia. Good chance for Olimpia to add another run, and let's see. Official stats say 11-3. So I'm battling between official stats online that you have and the stats on the scoreboard. Now they're even, but somebody for sure at one point did miss a one run. Marin Vukmirovic pops the ball up, and it's gonna be out of play. Hit the top of the container for the equipment and just making loud sound. Bunch of kids playing around here, and there's a little playground here for the youngest, and it's amazing, and it's just a fun to see so many kids here, and kids of ex-player or just families that the youngsters are playing, and young kids helping out on foul balls. And Marin Vukmirovic smashes the ball in the left field, and it's gonna score 2 runs for Olimpia, and Olimpia now for sure jumps ahead. And it is a 6th inning, and it's 10 runs, but it's enough for Olimpia if they hold on in the next defense to close this game up and really win the 5th spot in a big fashion, as Duje Papic stepped in, who actually led off this inning, and it just a full lineup of Olimpia batted around, and Duje Papic waiting patiently, not really going after the breaking ball, which sometimes when there's a couple of hits in a row you have tendency to try to swing for the ball, but on the first pitch he's patient. Really, what actually he needs to see as much pitches as he can in order to regain again that hand-eye coordination that is so crucial in a baseball game that you cannot develop it just in a cage. You have to play games and you have to have live at bats. And Olympia really doing a good job every Wednesday in doing the live with a lot of pitches and only 2 games in a weekend. A lot of pitchers and only 2 games in a weekend. It's a good spot for pitchers to pitch and players to see the real live ball. And Duje Papic hits a soft ball to the right, and it's gonna go in the books as a base hit. So Duje Papic records his first hit of the tournament. Not the prettiest one, but in the books it looks like a line drive you smashed that fall before the outfield, or any case like that. That's why stats can be misleading sometimes, but hey, it all evens out in the course of a whole year. You know, those soft ones that go through, you know, they kind of cancel off against those hard ones that you squared up, but they find the glove of your opponents, and that's why you should be always happy when you know, when you hit the ball hard, you should be happy no matter if it's out or not. And with a soft ball like this goes through, you should be happy again. So it gives you more chance to be happy than 3 out of 10 times, which is kind of typical batting average, 300. You know, meaning that 7 times you did not succeed in baseball. So you should really catch those little moments and be happy how they go through. So as Kevin Volerich swings aggressively and fouls the ball back, and Pero Rumara runs to get that ball, and here is no bad boys, so balls needs to be taken care of with players on deck. And another on deck player is Dorian Bartoltic. Really hope that he's gonna get a chance to get at bat this inning. So means all the players in this game or on the roster get a chance to play. And already Dorian had in games 2 days ago, he had that hit by pitch, and he was part of that big moment where Olympia youngsters were able to score in the 9th inning, that run with the 2 outs. Sron Karin hitting a triple, then Dorian Bartolcic getting on base by hit by pitch, and then Sven Anic coming in and just smashing the ball for RBI and a run. So Dodo called by his friends here. Dorian Bartolcic, a hard-working kid, just turned 16, and it's just great to see kids getting exposed on that international level. And that's what I was talking about Karlovac's baseball program, is the kids do get a chance, because Karlovac is a lot in this high situations, like always in the finals, always playing a crucial game, so kids get to experience that. By the age of 19, 20, they've already been in tough situations and were able to come through, and that builds up a confidence in a young man, not just for a baseball, but for a life itself, because when you practice hard and you're developing yourself as a player, and in baseball it's hard to succeed. So once you do succeed, it's something if you are able to carry over those at-bats into the real life situations, in either it's your work or a family situations, you're gonna be a successful person. And almost just foul down the third base line, and it would be pretty amazing if Dorian could get hit as well. But nevertheless, great experience for him no matter what happens in this at-bat, that he's actually here, and somebody has to pick up that foul ball down the left field line. And it's again one of the players for Olympia, and it's really doing a great job. Olympia players are, I mean, they did when there was the flood 2 days ago, what they did with the field and how they take care of the field. As young Bartolcic is tough, proving to be tough at bat already, great at bat, great pitches he's seeing, enabling to foul them off. Just that builds up the confidence in a player, and let's see if he can really put the ball in play. And he does put it in play. Let's see, he's gonna be able to escape the double play. He does, and Young Bartolcic Dodo gets his first international RBI. Good job, Dodo. Adding another run to Olympia's lead, and now we're gonna have the Garrett Perkins stepping at bat, an American pitcher that came here maybe a month ago to get ready for this tournament, and it was brought in just as a pitcher and had pretty good outing, although it doesn't look in the books, but it was for him. I talked to him. Of course, he's disappointed because he came here and wanted to really show his authority, show his presence with authority, but was unable to do so. A little bit tight zone and one call on third base that was questionable that turned the game around for him. So he's just able to go almost not even 5 innings, but he gets at bat here and didn't at bat for since Little League, he says, but like any American, and it's in his blood to hit the baseball. And let's see if all that childhood tossing from his parents are gonna show up here, but as he swings and misses. Just overall a great guy and a great family, and again great recommendation by one of our great baseball connections, Manny Oliveira from Florida. I just finished college this year, Oglethorpe College, played there, and looking to extend his baseball career elsewhere as he swings and misses. Like I said, pretty good cuts by Garrett, not a hitter by definition. If his folks are watching that, they maybe have better idea when was last time he did grab a bat and hit. It was probably backyard to wiffle ball. Let's see if he can actually put the ball in play on a breaking ball. Checks his swing. Did he go? No. So looks like a real hitter. So I don't see any difference. First and third for Olimpija, and Garrett fouls that ball off and just shakes his hand off as the bat goes back, and you can see he was not holding the man. You can use a pine tar on this young man, it's not pitching, so it's legal to use pine tar as he gets a fistful of clay to dry off his hands. So as a batter, you can use a pine tar to get the bat sticky. As a pitcher, obviously, that would be illegal. So I don't know if a batter pitcher like this is, and if he comes in to pitch and he has pine tar, what he needs to do. He needs to wash the hands between the innings, as pine tar is legal for the hitters, illegal for the pitchers. So if you're a pitcher hitting, how does that affect you actually? So I don't know. That's interesting. That would be an interesting topic, and like it was the bad situation that we had 2 days ago, as a Swiss coach came out to the mound to talk to his pitcher, who is kind of grinding out this inning, and it's just unable to close that. And 8 runs scored by Olimpija in this inning, and that's that crooked number that we are talking about. And it's good to see Phil Smith going 2 for 2, and actually there are numbers besides zeros in his batting average, as he's batting 167 for the tournament. Like we said, Phil Smith, who is traditionally above 500 hitter on these tournaments, had a bad luck on a couple of balls hit hard, so if everything was kind of normal, he would be around 300 for this tournament. But just happy he recorded his first 2 hits today, had a sacrifice fly today, so just a great player, and you always like to see good things happening to the great players and good human beings. So Phil Smith flies the ball to the right field, and ball is being dropped by a right fielder. So just problems for Swiss team continue as Phil Smith takes a third base again. So twice in a row did Phil Smith reach the third base with his hits. One, it was a double that he was able to read the ball well, good base running, and then finish the third. Now just hustling right away, although it looked like it's gonna be an easy catch for the right fielder. They did play the Phil Smith pull, So it was a longer run for right fielder, but nevertheless he should have caught that ball, and it was already in a glove, but it just popped up. And Jorman Alcala stepping up, and let's see if Jorman can just keep this line going and maybe give young Ronkarin, who came in as a pinch runner, give another at bat on this tournament. A ball inside, and Jorman just patient. 14-3 the score. It should be more, 17-3. I'm again looking at the stats, and it's well, because I was saying stats are a little bit behind here. The official stats that I'm looking at, and we do have official. Those are the official numbers, and we do have our own scoreboard. And the scoreboard you can see on the screen. It's not connected directly with the stats, so it's manually added for your hit by pitch to Jorman Alcala as he jumps and tries to avoid that pitch, but that hits somewhere around the ankle, and those ones can be hard. And Jorman Alcala staying on the ground and really slow getting up. Looks like doing yoga more than actually anything else, and breathing in and breathing out, and hopefully he's gonna be okay. And as he's limping off to the first base, checking out his ankle, and I don't think there is there is Pavel Karin, I think, on a bench still left, and he was supposed to be a pitcher. He was in a bullpen, so Bobo Gales wanted him ready in the bullpen to jump in. And it's always hard when you're a position player and a pitcher as well. Sometimes you have to give up your at-bats in order to be the bullpen guy, so it's a team play. So you're taking one for the team, and actually when you should be in a lineup, but you're more important to be as a pitcher. As Ronkarin swings through the first pitch, he's gonna be able to repeat what he did 2 days ago. Just a slaps ball to the right, try to round it out, but and out to the first base, and which puts an end to this inning, a long inning for a Swiss team and Swiss defense, and a great 11 runs. There you want a crooked number, you got it. 17-3 after 6. Pavel Karin enters, like I said, Pavel, who would be in the lineup, but he was the one supposed to come in relief to close this game, and he gets a chance on the 17-3 to show off a little bit. And first out, a young team. When you look at it now, who are the players in the field? Jorman Alcala at the shortstop, who is 19. You have Garrett, who is Perkins playing first base, 22, and young Bartosz Bosanac at 16, and Ron Karin at 16 there. So amazing young kids. You have Duje Papic at 18 in right field, and 19 Kevin Volaric. So all the youngsters and product of Karlovac baseball, as Kevin Volaric was not able to get to that ball, a base hit. And Pavel Karin, another great pitcher, and great pitcher performance that he had against the better teams there are, the better Pavel pitches. Really a lot of off speed and a lot of breaking ball, change-ups, and not overpowering pitcher, but really being effective against Spanish team, and throwing the strike here, starting the batter with the strike, which always helps Pavel's cause, because pitchers like that should not go 2-0. Then players have a chance to. Young Bosanac throwing off ground. Ron extended as a first baseman, but off the base, the umpire says. Again, great awareness by the young players. I mean, a 16-year-old getting on his knees, grabbing that ball and throwing from his knees, and Ron recognizing it's gonna be a close play, acting as a first baseman on second base, which you should do. But the umpire said he was off the base by doing so and extending. So first and second for Swiss team is they're trying to not lose this game in 7 innings, so they need to score 5 runs for this game to continue. Mercy rule in the European tournaments and European leagues. So let's see. Pavel Karin delivering good pitch. Pavel Karin not a strikeout pitcher, so he's gonna rely heavily on his defense and with the slow balls, and just Jamie Moyer type of pitcher. Of course, Jamie Moyer being an amazing player, pitched in a World Series, maybe the oldest pitcher who pitched in a World Series when he was Philadelphia. Also friend of Karlovac baseball. Actually, he was here on this mound that you see here, Pavel Karin, and it's just amazing story as Pavel Karin hits a batter and bases loaded. And what you don't want to do is with this little bit not the number 1 guys of Olimpija being out, you don't want to take this game into 8th or 9th inning after leading 17-3, and now with 1 swing this can be a game that it's just close to not being mercy rule and not being over. And Olimpija maybe already in their minds thought that they're gonna finish this game, but that the game is done. It's not done. You have to record here 21 outs if you are 10 runs ahead, but as the ball is aligned to the left field but just foul. So you never know in baseball, and in European baseball I've seen everything being turned around, and it's I've seen teams losing almost by 15 runs, whereas a mercy rule in the 5th inning, but battling, scoring a couple of runs, then avoiding a mercy rule and winning the game at the end. So let's see if Swiss team is gonna be the one who can pull something like that, or Olimpija just can stop it right here, and has too much experience to do so, although the youngsters are a bunch of youngsters in the field. And line drive, and again foul, pulling a lot of pitches, being in front. Of course, that's what Pavel's game is all about, getting the batters off balance on the front foot and trying to hit him the ball soft. Let's see him and Phil Smith work for so long, and it's a ball to the shortstop, to the second baseman. It's gonna finish with a double play, and it does! Wow, what an end for the tournament for Olimpija, taking a 5th place. The youngsters doing the double play. Double play for end of the game. Way to go, Olimpija Karlovac. Congratulations on winning that 5th spot. Well deserved. We'll be right back.
Bravo, Olimpija.
Yeah. So we're gonna just wrap it up as far as the Olimpija is going and my announcement of Olimpija games. I'm gonna be here not for a 3rd place game, but just for a final game itself. And a great job by Olimpija today. If you will be able to see that, just to go back to that 11 runs in an inning, how they started. If you remember, they started with. I think it was a walk and then 2 bunts for base hits in a row that got the bases loaded. So the small ball again got that inning started, and then just Olimpija was able to pound the runs in and really take the game out of the hands of a Swiss team. And what a way to finish with the mercy rule, and a great job by Karlovac Olimpija Baseball taking the 5th place in the Confederation Cup, which is total 13th place in Europe for a small country like Croatia and small Croatia program. It's really an honor for Olimpija to be even to be mentioned with these names. But this is just a matter of working for years, for actually 40 years of devoted work to baseball on the field and off the field, I would say, where everybody is chipping in. And off the field, whatever you see here in K-Town got built by the own hands of the volunteers of Olimpija. Even Jimmy's Corner that we mentioned was built by Jimmy Summers himself, and now a popular corner to watch the baseball behind the 3rd base dugout, and really cool place to watch the baseball here in Karlovac. The Four River Stadium is. So if you have a chance ever to, and you love baseball, and you're in Croatia, it's a really place to stop. And if you're an international player who is searching for the team to be on a right baseball field with a right baseball crowd, that's a definitely place to be. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for supporting our program. Olimpija Karlovac Baseball for 40 years. Team Strong Olimpija taking the 5th place in Confederation Cup. Until the next time, I am Damar Denny K. Karin. See you all.